fortunate in late December to open our first 20 miles of road. I think the response has been very successful and not necessarily overwhelming, but we're very pleased with what we've seen so far. Our forecast for the end of the first year, average daily ridership is 26,000, and in January we were at 30,000. In February we were at 35,000. So far in March we're exceeding the 35,000 level. So the public has been very responsive, and I think it speaks to the good work that people have done over those many years. We've had a lot of success in Mesa. In fact, the busiest station among our 28 stations is the main and secondary station. It has the largest park and ride capacity, but it also really, I think, penetrates the East Valley in a significant way, and we're more than pleased with the response and the ridership that's come out of there.
And I think the porta johns are a major part of that success.
Ladders matter. I think economic development has also followed the development of light rail, and that's been a real plus for Phoenix and Tempe, and beginning to show up in Mesa. And we know that there has been a tremendous amount of pent-up demand in this valley for transit-oriented development, mixed-use, medium to high-density developments, and we're starting to see that happen even with the kind of economy that we have today. So we know that as we look to the long-term future, any investment that's made in light rail is going to ultimately attract economic investments, which will be good for our region and certainly good for any of the cities that have light rail. Back in 2004, the voters had an initiative before them called Prop 400 that included the funding of many of our transportation elements, including some expansion of high-capacity transit, which could be light rail. One of those expansion.
Have there been any studies where you looked at anecdotally how economic development is doing along the light rail line as opposed to areas that are outside that quarter-mile corridor? Have we seen more resilience in development along the rail line?
Councilman Member Summers, we haven't done that study. I know the cities are looking at that. I think from everything that we have heard, the intensity of development along the light rail line is far significant to any intensity elsewhere. Downtown Phoenix and downtown Tempe in particular have seen major developments. I can think of not a whole lot of development that has gone on outside of the cities at that same level.
I know one of the, in talking with my counterparts in Phoenix and Tempe, they've tried to identify those projects right along the corridor that they have identified as I would guess the best way to describe it is it would transit related, would not have happened but for the transit. And they're $7 billion is the amount that I've heard going along the entire 18 plus miles of Phoenix and Tempe. Of course, in Mesa we haven't hit that because we only have a mile, and Phoenix and Tempe, because of the significant number of miles in the cities, we're far ahead of what Mesa was as far as the TOD planning and ordinances and things like that. So that's the number I've heard from that.
Those are the numbers that we've heard from the cities as well. Well, as a result of that Prop 400 outcome, we've had on the map for high-capacity transit plan an extension of high-capacity transit service into downtown Mesa. And for the past 2 years, we've been working with the city and with the community, a lot of businesses and neighborhoods, to try to determine the alignment of that particular investment, the station locations, and then ultimately the technology. And we're to a point now after 2 years and a lot of public involvement and a lot of debate on the issue to make a preliminary recommendation to the council on where we are at this point. So we're ready to focus on that, and I'm going to ask Wolf Road, our Director of Project Development at Metro, to take it from here.